Okay, good morning once again. Today we're going to continue our discussion. We're going to begin this topic on financial planning. For financial planning, usually dalawa yan. Financial planning for short-term assets natin, tapos yung sa long-term. So we'll first discuss this afternoon yung sa long-term. And this is just a continuation of what we were discussing last time about NPV and IRR. Continuation will add more, will reinforce what we have discussed so far. Okay, so this is for long-term, no? Long-term assets. Kasi alam natin na pag mag-i-invest sa, let's say, property, plant, and equipment, okay, it will benefit other periods, kaya long-term siya. Kaya any investment in assets like this are called capital expenditures. So this falls under capital budgeting as against operating expenses, which will only benefit the current operating period. Okay, so in this, may nag-chat. Okay, it's okay, Rishan, I understand. No problem. Okay, so we want to know, guys, if a project is feasible or not. Okay, here we're given two projects, Project Y and Project Z. Take note that what's given is cash flow. So ang ina-analyze natin, guys, cash flow, not net income after tax. So, but how do we generate the cash flow? Well, we have to forecast first the income statement, and then yung income statement, yung net income after tax, i-convert natin into cash. Okay, so that's how we do it. No? We do not use the net income figures, but rather the cash flow, because anyway we can convert from the net income after tax to cash flow. So that's what we analyze and evaluate. And the rationale for that is, sabi natin, yung investors, they put in cash, no? And they would require cash in return. Okay. Ivan, magpapadala na lang ako ng announcement na para clear yung instructions. Thank you for asking. Okay, thank you. Kasi tinatanong ni Ivan yung case study, kailan daw yung deadline. Okay, I'm going to send an announcement. Okay, so usually, guys, dalawang klaseng projects pag tinitingnan natin. So let me write that. So projects can be independent. So independent siya, or they can be mutually exclusive. So what's the difference between mutually exclusive projects and independent projects? Okay, pag independent projects, guys, the choice of one does not affect the other. So kung okay si Project Y, at saka okay din si Project Z, pwede natin piliin pareho, no? Kasi yung choice mo na Y does not exclude Project Z. Okay. However, if it's mutually exclusive, pag pinili natin si isa, hindi na pwede sa isa. So parang option talaga, no? Pipili tayo ng isang project. So for example, si Project Y and Project Z, we're planning to, let's say, set up a branch, a new branch, and the option is to set it in Manila or in Makati. So pag pinili natin yung Makati, wala na, hindi na natin pipiliin hindi na natin ipe-pursue si Manila. So only one yung pipiliin. So that's what we mean by mutually exclusive. On the other hand, guys, kapag independent naman, pwedeng piliin pareho. Okay? All right. So, okay. So given this, guys, given yung cash flows natin, how do we determine if project Y or X or Z ang pipiliin? Now, the decision rule that we looked into last time was NPV. So how do we compute for the NPV? Okay, ito yung NPV natin, di ba? It's just the sum of your cash flows at time T discounted by K, or this is what we use here is the weighted average cost of capital. No? Okay, ito yung discount factor natin, yung 1 over 1 plus K, or sometimes we do this as 1 multiplied by 1 plus K raised to the negative T. Okay, note that your T ranges from T is equal to 1 up to T is equal to N, kung ilan man yung period ng projects natin. No? yung term ng project or life ng project. And then we subtract the initial investment. Okay? So that's how we get the NPV, di ba? The net present value. Actually, pwede rin ditong from time is equal to 0, okay, to time is equal to n. For as long as your net initial investment is equal to is reflected as negative. So pwede natin isama na dito yung ano natin, no? So parang ganito na lang 'yon. Cash flows at time t over 1 plus your k raised to the t. And then t ranges from 0 up to t, okay, lumampas na dito sa ano ko, up to t is equal to n, kung ilan man yung periods na yan. Okay, so pwede rin to, no? For as long as yung initial investment natin dapat naka-zero siya. Kasi kung hindi siya naka-zero, mamamali kasi we're summing it up. Okay, so let's assume that these two projects are mutually exclusive. So ito yung context natin, no? Mutually exclusive si Y and si Z. So isa lang pipiliin natin. So let's compute now for the net present value. The WACC is given at 12.6. So gamitin natin guys ito. Lagyan natin ng pangalan to, no? Let's put a name here. So WACC. Okay, so this is your weighted average cost of capital. Okay, so there are two ways to compute for the weighted average cost. There are two ways to compute for the NPV, I'm sorry. Either we get the present values first and then add, okay, or use the NPV function of Excel. So let's do both. So negative, di ba, negative PV siya. Negative PV. And then our rate is, we can type WACC para easy access. WA, then lalabas yan. NPER is this one. So kukunin natin yung present value ng bawat isa. Hindi siya PMT, future value siya. Okay, and then ignore the type because this is not an annuity. Enter. So we expected this to be 1, 2 kasi year 0 siya. Ang present value niya 1, 2 din. Okay. All right. So ang present value ng 420 1 year from now is 373 assuming that the rate is 12.6, etc. So we can now add these cash flows. We can now add these cash flows because they are all present values. So let's sum them up. Okay, so we have 1589.856. Okay, let's just add two decimal places. And we said that in this case, project Y is feasible, it's acceptable because the net present value is positive. If the net present value is greater than 0, then okay yung project na yan. Or we could have used the NPV function of Excel. NPV function, ang rate natin is WACC. Okay, and remember guys, yung value natin should start with the year 1, no? And then i-add back natin si year 0. Okay, so we're getting the same figure. Dagdagan lang natin ang decimal place. Okay, control 1, nag-automatic ano siya, 11 decimal places. So 2. Okay, so it's the same guys, whether we use the individual present values and then sum them up or the NPV function. Okay, syempre mas madali yung NPV function. Okay, so project Y is feasible based on NPV. Let's do the same. I'll give you 1 minute to do the same for project Z. Okay, let's do that now. Okay, Lexi, what's your question? Which one? What cell?
Coach, yung first solution po, yung NP yung ginamit, negative PV pala po.
Sa dito? Sa...
Yes po,
okay,
that one.
Okay, the present value. PV natin, ang rate natin ng WACC, no? Okay. Clear siya? Lexi?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right. Okay, how about guys sa Z? Paki-chat guys if you got 244, 244. Once you get 244 guys, paki-chat so that we can two four four six three eight. Okay, thank you, Francine. Okay, thank you, Sophia. Salamat. And Marion. Okay, good. Okay. The rest, guys, I hope you got 244638. Any questions about that? So, ganun din yung formula natin dito, no? Sabi natin, to get the present value, there are two ways that you can do it. Number one, yung mga cash flows natin, i-convert natin individually into present values. That's what we did here. Okay? Then kinopy natin to the right to. So once we converted this to present values, pwede na natin i-add. I-add na natin sila kasi mga present values na yan. Or we could have used the NPV function of Excel. Okay? Only that, guys, take note, yung values natin dapat starting with year 1. And then i-add back natin yung year 0. So based on NPV, guys, based on NPV, yes, if these projects are independent, sino guys yung pipiliin? Si Project Y or Project Z? Paki-chat nga please. Based on NPV, tapos independent yung projects na to. Which project are we going to choose? Y or Z? Okay, thank you, Lexi. Z, how about the rest, guys? I want to, okay, thank you. Sophia, okay. Diana, thank you. Okay, Grace, thank you. All right, yan. Thank you so much, guys. That's good. Now, Z. The answer, guys, is wrong. It's not Z. Okay, bakit? Kasi sabi ko, guys, independent yung mga projects. So pag independent siya, the answer should be pareho. Both Y and Z because both have positive NPVs. Okay, so okay, so na-misheard nyo. Okay, thank you, Marian. Yeah, it's any of them, no? It's actually both. Okay, when will what will be a situation where if they're independent, isa lang pipiliin natin sa kanila? Could you think of a scenario, a situation where the NPVs are all positive, 159 at saka 244, pero iisa lang pipiliin natin? Can you think of a scenario, guys? Like that? Any idea? Okay, parehong NPV, yung parehong positive NPV nila, like this one. Tapos they're independent projects. So, ibig sabihin, pwedeng piliin pareho. Pero isa lang pipiliin natin. What could be a situation like that, guys? Okay, let's see. Super laki ng difference sila. Okay, that's possible. Masyadong malaki yung difference sila. Pero di ba pag sinabi natin super mas beneficial po yung isa. Okay, so okay, these are possible answers. Pero ang inaano lang natin guys, tinitingnan natin NPV ha. Okay, pareho silang okay yung NPV. Pag mas beneficial, okay, if you have a way of knowing na mas beneficial yung isang project, then okay yon. Yung project is at the same time. Okay, thank you Lexi. Same time. Okay, so that's also possible kasi siguro magkakaroon ng problema sa man hours, sa manpower, no? Kunyari hindi nila kakayanin na pareho at the same time, that's also correct, no? So these are possible answers, they're correct answers. Pero ang naiisip ko kasi kanina, yung discounting yung mga sinabi nyo, no? Isa lang pipiliin kung may budgetary constraints, no? Kunyari, ang available budget lang 2 million. Okay, therefore, pag 2 million lang yung budget natin, hindi natin pwedeng i-implement pareho. Kasi mag-e-exceed tayo ng budget. Okay, or kunyari, 2.5 million lang yung available budget. And it turns out that Project Y and Project Z we will be needing 3 million there. No? So, pipiliin natin guys, since pasok naman sa budget yung 1.8 million, pipiliin natin yan. Kasi mas mataas yung NPV niya. Okay, so if there are budgetary constraints, then yung independent projects natin, pwedeng pwedeng magkaroon pwedeng may ma-reject, no? Okay, kunyari, 5 yung projects na yan. Okay, and all of them have positive NPVs, but the budget is limited in such a way that maaring hindi makukuha lahat, no, ng projects na yan. So how will we choose? Okay, we will rank them according to NPVs. And then kung anong aabutin ng budget, yun ang pipiliin. Okay, so those things, no? Okay, but if they're mutually exclusive, wala tayong problema, no? If they're mutually exclusive, then automatically guys, si 244 si Project Z ang gagamitin natin kasi isa lang siya. No? Okay, clear yan guys? Clear so far? Paki-chat naman please. Yeah, Sophia, paki-share yung answer mo sa ano? Okay. Okay, nag-clear ka naman, no? Okay, thank you. Okay, good. Thank you for your responses. Okay, good. Thank you guys. Salamat. Okay, now, ang problema lang natin to guys, tingnan nyo. Saan tayo may problema dito? Sa tingin nyo? Na medyo nagiging bias dun sa isang project. May bias dyan sa ano yan, sa mga options na yan. And what do you think, where do you think is the bias coming from? Okay, hula guys. And that can tweak, that can affect our decision. No? Medyo may bias dito sa okay, sa cost, di ba? Ito 1.2 initial cost, ito 1.8. So hindi sila pareho. Okay, so we might have some repercussions here if we decide to do Z. Kasi medyo may bias nga yung natin towards Z. Bakit? Suppose this, going back to my illustration a while ago, so these are mutually exclusive projects. So yung isa, tinitingnan natin kung Makati ba, yung isang Manila yung location ng branch. Then we know that the foot traffic in Makati is more, mas maraming taong dumadaan dun sa location na yun. Kasi location, kunyari, ang pinag-uusapan natin dito sa branch na to. So from yung marketing, alam naman natin na location is key. Diba? Location, location, location. Dun sa 4Ps natin, dun sa place. No? Okay, so mag-i-invest tayo mas malaki sa Makati, 1.8. Siguro mas mahal yung location ng office, mas mahal yung mga ibang components, cost components, as against Manila. So therefore, because of that, guys, most probably, mas malaki yung revenues na ma-generate sa Makati. Tapos mas malaki yung NPV as a result. So sa onset pa lang medyo talagang talo na yung Y, no? Pero there's a way to also analyze that. Doon tayo pupunta sa Profitability Index. Sa Profitability Index, guys, we will take into consideration yung outflows, yung 1.2 versus 1.8. Okay, so what we're going to do is Ang formula niya, ito guys. No? Cash flow from T is equal to 1 to N, discounted cash flow. So ito yung present value ng future cash flows natin from year 1 up to year 5. And then i-divide natin ng initial investment. Okay, so this is your profitability index. So mapapenalty ngayon si Project Z kasi mas mataas yung initial investment niya. Okay? So it's as if, ang i-compute natin dito, magkano yung present value ng cash inflow per 1 peso of initial investment. Okay, so hanapin muna natin yung present value ng cash inflows natin. You can actually add this already. Ito yung present value ng cash inflows natin. Or we can use the NPV function. NPV function, rate is WACC, A comma. Then values natin will be sa project Y, ito. Yun lang, no? Kasi yung inflows lang yung tinitingnan natin. Okay? So it's 1359. Okay, kung let's compare, no? Sum natin yung mga present values, they should be the same. Okay, di ba ito yung mga present values natin for project Y? If we add them, okay, 1359. Pareho lang guys, no? So we're getting the same figure. Okay, then for Z, it will be equal to, again, let's use the NPV function. Rate is WACC, W, nakuha na natin, comma. Value will start with year 1. Okay? So hindi na natin i-add tong ang kailangan lang natin yung present value ng cash inflows. So kay cash outflow guys, kay project Y, it's equal to 1, 2, di ba? Pero ilalagay ko lang na negative dito. Negative para maging positive siya kasi kukunin natin ratio niyan. It's equal to 1/8. Okay. And then negative here. Okay. So the profitability index will be this one divided by this one. Okay. Equal to this one divided by this one. There. Okay. So we're now taking a look at the profitability index. So, dinidivide natin ngayon yung present value ng inflows natin ng outflows. Okay? So, we have here a standardized figure, no? Standardized kasi ang denominator nila pareho 1. Sa bawat piso ng outflow, no? Bawat piso ng initial investment. So, si Project Y, ang nakukuha niyang present value ng inflows is 1.133. Si Project Z, 1.136. So paki-chat nga guys kung sino mas maganda in terms of profitability index. Kindly chat please. Kindly chat which is the better project based on profitability index. Okay, Z. All right. Yes, you're correct. Bakit Z? Kasi guys, so I'll just explain, no? Kasi mas mataas yung profitability index niya. Diba? 136 to ito 133. In other words, guys, sa bawat piso na in-spend na initial investment, mas malaki yung present value ng cash inflow sa makukuha ni Project Z compared to Project Y. Okay? So, now, yung profitability index, guys, it will not matter kung pareho sila. Kung parehong initial investment. Okay? If they have the same initial investment, NPV pa lang, okay na tayo. Okay? Kasi, wala naman tayong basis ng comparison kasi pareho lang yung present value ng cash outflows nila. Okay, so dito guys, kita natin na despite the fact that Z has the higher initial cash outflow, mas maganda pa rin yung yung profitability index niya. Okay, so I hope that's clear guys. Okay. PV inflows formula. William, saan? Pakisabi kung anong cell, William, please. B50. B50. Okay? So ang ginamit natin dito, yung NPV lang. No? Okay? NPV. Since inflows lang yung inaano natin, tinitingnan, no? Then, ito lang yun, ano? From year 1 lang. Then we compared it with, sinum up lang natin yung mga ano, yung mga present values nila. Oo, wala kami dyan. Ay, hindi ko pa pumasabi. Kinakasin na daw yan. Okay, excuse me, handali guys. Okay, sorry guys, may ano lang, may nagtanong lang. Okay, so any questions guys? Na daw ng ganyang item pero pinago niya yung address dito na okay, good. All right, so let's now go to the next one, yung internal rate of return. Okay, so IRR guys, we already studied this before. Pero this time, we're going to look at the formula. So if you take a look at IRR, cash flow then divided by, so ito din discounted period, no? A discounted, ito yung present value. Then minus din natin initial investment. So parang NPV din to. Kaso ang ginagamit guys na ano, ang ginagamit na cost is not the weighted average cost of capital. Ang ginagamit yung IRR. Okay? Tapos if you notice, ini-equate siya sa zero. So dito hinahanap natin anong rate of return what rate of return will give us the NPV that's equal to zero. Kaya nga 'di ba define natin yung IRR is that rate of return where the net present value is equal to zero. Okay, so ito sinusolve ano yung rate of return na to para yung difference ng present value ng cash inflows at saka present value ng cash outflow should be zero. So deliberate yun guys. So this is different from NPV. Kasi si NPV ang ginagamit yung weighted average cost of capital. Dito ang ginagamit si IRR. So this makes this value, this metric, let's say inferior to NPV. Okay? Kasi ang ginagamit naman dapat sa pag-determine ng riskiness ng project yung WACC, no? Not the IRR itself. Okay? So now, if you recall, sabi natin, di ba, pag nag-conflict si NPV at saka si IRR, si NPV ang pipiliin kasi mas theoretically sound yung pag-compute ng NPV kaysa kay IRR. And that's the reason. Ito kasi yung formula niya. Okay, may nag-chat ba? Okay, thank you. All right. So with that in mind, guys, armed with that concept na mas tama yung paggamit ng NPV, that's why we always choose NPV when it conflicts with the IRR. So let's compute IRR here is equal to IRR, and then it's just everything here. Okay, IRR. Okay, it's 18.23, no? Yung IRR ni Project Y. Now let's check NPV. What's the NPV if the rate is your IRR? Okay, comma values, dapat simula sa year 1, and then i-add natin yung year 0. Okay, enter. And then true enough guys, di ba? 0 nga. 0 yung NPV. Okay, number 18 decimal places. Nag-default siya minsan sa malaking decimal places. Okay, there. Okay, then on the other hand, okay, si ano naman, si Z, okay, sandali may mali yata, okay lang. Ang IRR ni Z, IRR is, so values, values there. So we have 17.39 and let's check the NPV. NPV rate is 17.39 comma value 1 up to value 5 plus value 0. Okay. So notice guys, medyo mas mabilis na yung pag-process ko ngayon ng formula kasi by now guys, dapat medyo familiar na sa atin to. No? So it's also 0. Okay, so tama, no? Kasi guys, pag na-compute natin yung NPV, yung IRR, tapos yung NPV niya is not 0, then may mali tayo, no? Kasi dapat yung IRR natin, dapat it should be the rate of return. Okay. Nag-ano na naman siya. Nagbabago yung decimal place. Okay, the IRR is that rate of return that gives us a 0 net present value. Okay, so in this instance, guys, sa IRR, sino mas maganda? Sino pipiliin natin? Si Y o si Z? Comment please sa chat box. Okay. Yes, how about the rest, guys? Paki-chat naman please. Dalawa pa lang. So sino pipiliin, guys? Si Project Y o si Project Z? Okay, that's correct. Y. Tama. Tama si Y. Bakit? Kasi mas mataas yung ano niya, IRR. Mas mataas yung internal rate of return niya. 18.23 vis-a-vis 17.39. Okay, now, may conflict tayo kasi sabi ng IRR si Y. Ang sabi ni NPV si Z. So ano gagamitin natin? Si Z pa rin. Kahit na nagko-conflict si IRR at saka si NPV. Kasi sabi natin, the NPV is the more, let's say, superior method because of the assumptions that are with the computation of IRR. Okay, so I hope clear yun, guys, na kahit na mas mataas yung IRR ni Y dito, ang pipiliin pa rin natin ZZ. Kasi mutually exclusive yung mga projects na yun. No? In fact, based on Profitability Index, si Z pa rin. Okay, so let's now go. That's why ginagamit yung MIRR, Modified Internal Rate of Return. So if you take a look at the formula, si MIRR, it is, kinukuha natin yung future value ni using K, no? Yung WACC. Ito, sorry, WACC din to, no? This is also weighted average cost of capital. Okay, so, ang IRR natin, I'll just copy. I'll copy yung IRR ni Y. Okay. And then we're going to compute for the MIRR. Yan, modified internal rate of return. Returns the internal rate of return for a series of periodic cash flow, considering both cost of investment and interest on the investment of cash. So dito, guys, sa MIRR, pareho ang ginagamit natin yung weighted average cost of capital. Okay, so let's go here. Ano yung values natin? Ito, yung mga values natin, yung mga cash flows natin. Then, what is our finance rate? Our finance rate is your WACC. Okay, and what is your reinvestment rate? Your investment rate is also your WACC. Ang kaibahan nito, guys, sa ang kaibahan nito sa IRR, guys, is that sa IRR, ang reinvestment rate natin is our WACC, is our IRR. Okay, ulitin ko lang to, ha. So you have here 15.45%. So this is not the WACC and IRR anymore. Had I changed this, had I made the reinvestment rate equal to, if it was equal to IRR, then your MIRR will be the same. Yan. Kasi ang IRR, guys, yung reinvestment rate natin, ang ginagamit natin yung IRR mismo. And sabi natin that's theoretically medyo hindi siya inferior siya. Kasi dapat yung reinvestment rate natin at WACC pa rin yun. So at WACC pa rin W, okay? That's at WACC. So we have now our MIRR 15.45%. So let's now compute for the NPV. NPV at the MIR, sabi dito NPV at MIRR, comma, values, future value, and then plus. Okay. So control 1, gawin natin number, 2 decimal places. Okay, so using MIRR, guys, ang NPV natin is positive. So okay, no? Okay yung ano natin, okay yung project natin based on MIRR. Now we're going to compare this with, compare natin siya with Z. So ang IRR ni Z is 17.39. And then we're going to get the MIRR. MIRR, the values are the same. Okay, comma. the MIRR now, the finance rate is WACC, comma, the investment rate is also WACC. And parehong WACC, both the finance rate at saka yung reinvestment rate. Okay, so it's 15.51, and let's check the NPV is equal to NPV. Okay, rate natin using MIRR, comma, then values natin future, close, and then the current. So control 1 and number 2 decimal places. Yeah, 9489. Okay, so based on MIRR, guys, yun yung pipiliin natin. Pakichat nga please kung si Project Y or Project Z. Mali ito ha. This is MIRR ni Z. So which will we choose, guys? Project Y or Project Z based on MIRR? Kindly chat, guys, sa chat box natin. Okay, correct. Project Z. Bakit? Mas mataas yung MIRR, 15.51, 15.45. Okay, so the modified internal rate of return will always support the findings of the NPV. Okay? Ginagamit lang naman natin yung MIRR, guys, as just to prove na mas maganda, mas tama yung NPV natin. But if there's no conflict, between IRR and NPV, then no need to show your MIRR. Okay, so ginagamit lang naman natin yan, pinapakita pa rin natin yan kung ang sabi ng NPV si Project Z, ang sabi ni IRR si Project Y. So may conflict. So pakita natin yung modified internal rate of return, and it will always agree with the NPV. Okay, yes, correct, no? You're correct. So any questions with MIRR, guys? And notice, guys, sa MIRR, okay, okay pa yun yung project kasi yung NPV natin, they are both positive. They're both greater than 0. Okay, so questions on MIRR? Okay, no questions? Then let's go to payback. Okay, sometimes a company would want to have some decision rule about the number of years it will take them to recover the initial investment. Maybe a company would like to have a policy na yung payback period dapat within half-life of the project. So kunyari may project na 10 years, so dapat within 5 years dapat ma-recover na dapat yung initial investment. So pwedeng may ganun na policy. Okay? So we have to know how to compute for the payback period. So that's very easy in Excel. So first, sa Project Y, di ba 1.2 million initial investment natin. So first year, may 420 tayo. So hindi pa natin nare-recover lahat. No? Second year, may 480 tayo. So if we add these two, 900,000 to. So hindi pa rin natin nare-recover. So pagdating ng third year, 320 na. No? So ibig sabihin, lampas na dun sa sa initial investment. So that means, guys, ang payback period natin ito is 2 plus something years. Kasi na-recover natin yung 1, 2 bago magtapos yung year 3. So that's 2 plus something years. Okay? So we need to be adding this, no? In order to determine kailan natin marirecover yung 1.2 million. So there's a good way to do that. There's a good way to get this cumulative cash flow. Use the sum function. So sum, tapos isa-sum natin ito and to the rest, no? And we do that by, if I click colon, okay. So what happens when you click colon? Pag click natin yung colon, guys, anong nangyayari? Nadodoble yung B85 natin. Okay, so ang gagawin natin, if we fix natin yung B85, so that when we copy the formula to the right, it will still be at B85, tapos gagalaw to B86, 87, 88. So ibig sabihin, nadadagdagan yung yung isa-sum up niya. And that's cumulation. So because we're copying along the row, so hindi natin kailangan i-fix si row 86, si row 85 pala, ang kailangan lang natin i-fix si column B. Okay? So we need to fix column B para pag kinapin natin along row 86, hindi siya aalis sa column B, yung initial na value ng 1, 2. Okay, so let's do this. Okay. Let me illustrate that. Pagdating dito, guys, okay, tingnan nyo. Inad natin si 12 at saka 420. Ang naging balance 780. Okay, so ito na lang yung kailangan natin i-recover. Then if I copy to the right, okay, if I copy hanggang dulo, okay. So tell me guys, on the, lagyan nga natin dito ng, sorry, i-copy natin yung years para guided tayo. So Control C, Control V, dito din lalagyan ko. Ay, nawala na dito. Sige, dito na lang. Sorry, hindi ko nalagay yung ano, yung years. Okay. All right. So, how much do we still need to recover? How much do we still need to recover for the initial investment at the end of year 2? Magkano na lang ang kailangan natin ma-recover at the end of year 2? Paki-chat please. Okay, ilan na lang yung dapat ma-recover natin? Yes, Janry. Thank you, Janry. You're correct. Tama si Janry, no? If we take a look at this, guys, sa year 2, no? Sa year 2, ang kulang na lang natin 300,000. So dito kita natin. Kasi inad natin si 12 negative plus positive 420 plus positive 480. So ang nabawasan natin 900 na, no, when we sum this up. So 300 na lang yung kulang natin. And then sa year 3, guys, ilan yung expected na cash flow natin? Paki-chat please. How much is the expected cash flow in year 3? Okay, waiting for your chat, please. Ilan yung expected cash flow natin sa year 3? The expected cash flow. Ilan yung matatanggap natin na cash flow sa year 3? Okay, 320. Tama, Kyrene, no? Kasi ito yung cash flow natin, guys. Ito. Okay? So year 3, ang expected cash flow natin, 320. No? Eh, ilan pa yung kulang, guys? 300, di ba? So sa year 3, covered na itong kulang na ito na 300. In fact, na-excess pa na 20. So the payback period will be between this, kung saan naging positive, guys, yung ano natin, yung cumulative cash flow. Ibig sabihin na na-recover na natin yung 1.2 million na initial investment dito sa between years 2 and years 3. Okay? So hindi pa natapos yung year 3 na na-recover na natin. So our payback period will be equal to year 2 plus, okay? Magpa-plus tayo. Okay, so it's 2 point something years kasi hindi naman natapos yung year 3 na recover na natin. Okay, ang kailangan pa natin i-recover 300. Now we will assume that cash flow is generated uniformly throughout the period. So we can divide yung 300 na to divided by dun sa expected cash flow natin. So i-prorate lang natin, no? Now I will have to insert here a negative kasi negative tong cash flow natin dito, negative of this, para maging positive siya, and then divide it by the expected cash flow. Okay, so kinukuha lang natin, guys, yung ratio, yung proportion, 300 out of 320. Okay, that means kung uniform, ang assumption natin, uniform yung pagkuha ng cash flow, that means, guys, na 2.9, bawasan natin ng isang, around 2.9 years, marirecover na natin yung, yung initial investment natin. So that's our payback period for project Y. Okay? Is this good or bad, guys? It depends, no? It depends. Kung may policy yung company na dapat, kunyari, pag 5 years yung project, dapat in year 2 ma-recover na, then hindi siya pwede, no? Kasi 2.9 years pa siya ma-recover. But usually, guys, ang pinaka-talagang basis is not the payback period, no? It's the NPV or the IRR. Yun ang nagiging basis. Hindi naman usually nagkakaroon ng basis na kahit na mababa yung NPV for as long as within half a year ma-recover natin, okay tayo. No, it's not the norm, no? Na ginagawang basis yung payback and then discount in the disregard si NPV or IRR. It's still NPV and IRR that tops the list in as far as the determination whether to push through with the project or not. Ito, inform lang tayo na within 2.9 years, marirecover natin yung initial investment natin. Now for Z, it will be, gawin natin sum, first figure, and then colon. Okay, so we have here, okay, pwede naman yung pangalawa, no? Okay, pwede naman yung pangalawa lang yung iaano nyo. Pareho lang naman yan. No? Okay, you can fix the first or you can fix the second. So just to show you na pwede yan, and then copy to the right. Okay. So parehong sum accumulation, dapat yung isa naka-fix, no, sa column niya. Okay, so here guys, we can see that marirecover natin between year 3 and year 4. At year 3, kailangan pa natin ng 410. Pagdating ng year 4, meron tayong 710 expected cash flow. Okay, so bawi natin tong 410 na to sa year, between year 3 and year 4. So we can now type here yung estimated na payback. It's on year 3 plus, idadagdag lang natin yung negative nitong 410 divided by 710. There. So it's around mga 3.6 years. No? Tanggalin natin yung isang decimal place. All right. So for project Z, it will take us longer to recover the initial investment. Siyempre kasi mas mataas yung yung initial investment niya, 3.6 years. So we're saying here that project Z, it will take us longer to recover the initial investment kay project Z kaysa kay project Y. And that's pretty understandable kasi si project Z, ang rini-recover niya 1.8, ito 1.2 million lang. Okay. So itong payback period guys, may theoretical flow, FLAW. Kasi ina-add natin guys yung mga cash flows, 'di ba? Kinokumulate natin when they belong to different periods, 'di ba? So that will violate the principle of the time value of money. That's why there's another payback period. It's called the discounted payback. So discounted payback guys, kailangan natin muna makuha yung present values. Tapos yun ang i-accumulate natin. So this is perfectly okay kasi present values na sila, then it's okay to accumulate them and sum them up. So di ba yung function natin PV, ang rate natin yung WACC, okay, comma, then enter natin dito, comma, walang PMT, future value is 1.2 million, control enter, then there. All right, so ito na yung mga present values natin. So sila na yung guys, sila na yung cumulative sum natin. Yan. Okay, let me just put it here. F4. Okay. Diba? Cumulate natin sila. Okay, when we cumulate them, okay, we see guys that using the discounted payback, ang payback period ni Project Y will be 4+ years. No? Kasi dito nagkaroon ng positive na. Sa year 4, meron pa tayong kailangang i-recover na 50,082 na present values. Pagdating ng year 5, 209 na yung present value natin. So recovered na siya. No? Okay, so this will be equal to year 4 plus negative of the required cash flow divided by the present value. So present value naman yung basis natin ito. Control enter. So that's 4.2 years. Okay, I'll give you guys 1 minute. Paki-compute to. Tapos mag-compare tayo ng answer. No? Kung magkano yung discounted payback period ni Project Z. Okay, pause share muna ako. Ay, sorry, hindi. Naka-mute pala ako. Okay, so Austin, sorry, I was answering, naka-mute pala ako. Thursday yung quiz, no? Our quiz will be on Thursday and it will cover yung time value of money, okay, and then the discounted the amortization. Siyempre kasi diniscuss natin dati NPV IRR, but not the profitability index, the payback, hindi kasama yan. Okay, did you get 4.5 years, guys? This Thursday na, Kairin. This Thursday na yung quiz natin. Okay, hindi na next week kasi next week, bawal na rin yata mag-quiz next week. Bawal na rin, no? At least ng synchronous. Okay, so okay, did you get 4.5 and 4? We got here 4.2. Did you get 4.5, guys? 4.5 years yung discounted payback for Project Z. Kindly chat, please, if you got those figures. Okay, isa pa lang nakakuha. How about the rest, guys? Okay, yeah, I think see Marion, Gianna, okay. The rest, okay. Grace, salamat. Okay, I hope the others were able to get it, guys. Huh? So 4.5. So expected naman mas mataas yung discounted payback period ni Y because of the higher initial investment. Okay, so let's quickly review this worksheet. Sabi natin, we look at projects as either independent or mutually exclusive. Pag independent, pwedeng maraming piliin, okay? And then siguro nagkakaroon lang ng constraints yan due to budgetary requirements. No? Kunyari, 10 projects yan, tapos hindi pwedeng makuha lahat kasi limited yung natin. So pipili lang tayo ng pinakamagaganda, yung pinakamataas na NPV, tapos kung saan masuswak yung budget, yun ang pipiliin natin. No? So that's independent. Pero pag mutually exclusive yan, kunyari 10 options, mutually exclusive silang lahat, pipili lang tayo ng isa doon. Okay, so the best ang pipiliin natin. Okay, so we use NPV, Profitability Index. Ginagamit yung Profitability Index kung magkakaiba yung initial investment. No? Kasi medyo parang hindi pa pwede i-compare apples with oranges. Kung pareho sana to, guys, parehong 1-2 yan, then no problem. Kung ano man yung NPV, yun na yun. Okay? But if there's, just in case there is difference in the profitability in the initial investment, then it makes sense to go into Profitability Index. And we can also use IRR. The project is feasible, decisional if it's greater than the weighted average cost of capital. Okay? Pag hindi sila greater than the WACC, then reject the project. Okay, what happens if the IRR gives a different answer as compared to NPV? Always choose the NPV. Okay, in fact, meron tayong isa pang modified internal rate of return. Modification siya ng IRR na ang ginagamit dito yung investment rate, finance rate at saka reinvestment rate is the weighted average cost of capital. And the MIRR will always be support yung NPV. No? Lagi siyang pareho dun sa result ng NPV. Okay, and then lastly, we discussed payback period, the number of years it will take us to recover the initial investment. Okay, dalawang klase, payback at saka discounted payback. We said that theoretically, mas tama yung discounted payback kasi ina-add natin yung mga cash flows. And adding future cash flows that belong to different time frames, sabi natin that violates the principle of the time value of money. Okay, so any questions, guys, on this worksheet? Okay. Okay, if none, guys, let me go here. Ang target natin, guys, matapos natin itong dalawang to, no? Ito, guys, hindi natin matatapos to, but I'm going once again to record how to solve for this. Okay, kung paano isosolve to, ipopost ko na lang, tapos kung pwede, guys, pakinood na lang, no? Okay, let's go to unequal lives. May question yata? Okay, thank you. All right, thank you for responding. Okay, now ito, pareho ang cash flows nila guys, magkakaiba yung initial investment. Tapos hindi lang yun, magkakaiba din yung time frame, no? Magkakaiba din yung time frame. Yung profitability index kanina, hindi natin ma-address yung ma-address natin kung magkakaiba yung initial investment nila, no? Pero hindi natin ma-address doon sa profitability index yung number of years na magkakaiba. Okay, so first let's solve for the NPV. Okay, NPV. Okay. Ang rate natin 12%. Pwede natin i-copy na lang to the right kasi binigay na yung 12% bawat isang project. So isang company lang to. So pare-pareho lang yung WACC nito. Value will be start with year 1, no? Diba? NPV kasi to. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add hanggang year 8. Okay, ba't natin isasama si year 8? Para makopy natin hanggang kay D. Kasi kung isama lang natin hanggang kay 6, pag kinopy natin to the right to, hindi naman sasama yung kay 7 and 8 ni project D. Okay? Anyway guys, kahit isama natin yan, kung 0 naman yan, edi ang present value din yan, 0. Cash flow divided by 1 plus K to the T. No? Ang cash flow mo 0 divided by 1 plus K to the T, edi 0 din yun. So wala siyang effect sa NPV. Okay? And then we close this by adding back the initial investment. Okay, control enter. So 60.693 ang ano nito, ang net present value. Ito naman, pag highlight natin, copy to the right, then this one is 126. So we can say that in terms of NPV, mukhang si Project D ang mas maganda. Kaso may problema tayo dyan kasi si Project D, guys, 8 years siya. And natural, pag mas mahaba yung period, then there's a big chance na mas malaki yung NPV niya kasi mas maraming cash flow ang kino-consider. Okay. So we cannot compare actually D and B kasi si B hanggang year 4 lang. So si 12 hanggang 5. So hindi natin pwedeng sabihin na mas maganda si D kaysa kay C. Kasi si C, ang ano lang niya, ang cash flow lang niya, ang NPV 98, si D 126. Neither can we compare si C at saka si B. No? Okay? Although sabihin natin na konti lang difference sila, no? Ito 6.5 lang initial investment, tapos ito 10.5. Tapos mas konting years lang to, pero halos pareho lang sila ng halos pareho lang sila ng NPV. But still we cannot compare them guys kasi magkaiba nga yung ano nila, no? Yung project in life. Ganun din si project A. All right? So what we're going to do is, how do we compare them? Again, we're going to standardize them. Okay, paano natin siya i-standardize kung magkakaiba yung project life? So let me first explain how we're going to do it. Okay, let me put this up first. Okay, so we have here our cash flow. 0, 1, 2, 3, sabihin natin 4, 5, 6, no? And then we need to get this one, present value interest factor of annuity of 1. So, paano natin kukunin yan? So, meron tayong annuity. Yan. May annuity tayo. Annuity, then 1. No? Annuity of 1, guys. And then what we need to compute is the present value. Okay. So, dali lang guys, let me just handle this. Okay, sorry.
Precision.
Okay, PV guys. So we need to get the present value. So ano equivalent ng annuity of 1 for 6 years ngayon? That's what we want to do. Ganun din for B, no? You have an annuity of 1 for 4 years. Si C naman, annuity of 1 for 5 years. Si D, annuity of 1 for 8 years. So we need to compute for that. Okay, so here, we'll get the present value, so negative PV para maging positive yung answer natin. Okay, our rate is 12%. So hindi naman nag-iiba yung rate natin, 12%, comma. Then ilan yung N per dito, guys? Ilan yung N per for A? Okay, 6. Ilan yung N per kay B? 4. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Marian. Yung N per naman kay C is 6. Yung 5 pala. Yung N per naman kay D is 8. So, hindi tayo pwede mag-type dito ng 6 or 4 or 5 or 8. Kasi ikakopy natin yung formula to the right. No? So, we cannot just type or we cannot just put here 6. Okay? Kasi if we put 6 here and then we copy it to the right, kahit na i-fix natin to, then mali na, no? Dito kasi hindi naman 6 eh. Okay, dito dapat 5 lang to. So how do we go about that, guys? Any suggestion kung paano ang formula ang gagamitin natin dito para dito 6, dito 4, dito 5, dito 8? Any suggestion? Okay. So amortization, okay. So paano yung sa amortization, Marian? Conditional formatting, okay. Kaso idadrag natin yung formula na to, no? Okay, so baka tapos pag conditional formatting kasi ginagamit natin to format, no? Eh, ito hindi naman natin fino-format eh. Ang kailangan natin dito, yung N per. So we need to key in a formula here so that dito sa row na to, dito sa column na to, dapat 6 ang lalabas. Pagdating dito, dapat 4, etc. No? Dapat nagbabago-bago siya. No? Okay? So, all right. In the interest of time, guys, kasi may isang worksheet pa tayo, no? Let me show you a function in Excel na pwede natin gamitin. Okay, take a look at this, guys. Sa count, guys, merong may count A function. Okay, what does count A function give us? Ano binibigay sa atin ng count A function? Sabi dito, it counts the number of cells in a range that are not empty. No? Okay? Not empty. So, ibig sabihin yan, guys, ang bibilangin niya, yung may mga laman. Okay, so, hindi niya bibilangin yung walang laman. So, what we do is that highlight natin to. Okay, from year 1 up to year 8. Okay? So, ang bibilangin dito, yung may mga laman lang. So, if I highlight this, ano na yung value nito? Okay, so, it's 6. Tama siya. 6. Pag kinapin natin dito yan, bibilangin niya yung may laman, so dito 4. Okay, sige, tuloy muna natin, no? So that takes care of the N per. PMT natin, di ba, 1, annuity of 1 ton. Okay, comma, walang future value, type is 0, we can type 0, kasi it's annuity ordinary. Okay, so what will be the present value of a stream of cash flows for 6 years? Can you chat, guys, the answer? Ano yung equivalent value ng 11111 for 6 years? Magkano siya ngayon? 4.56. Okay, thank you. How about the rest, guys? Did you get 4.56? Thank you, Marion. 4.56. How about the rest, guys? Paki-chat nga, please, kung Lance, salamat, 4.56. Okay, waiting for others. Okay, Sophia, same then. Okay, thank you. Hannah, same. Grace, same. Okay, thank you, guys. Yeah. Okay, Lexi, salamat. Ivan, salamat. Yan, very good. Ron, salamat. No? Okay, 4.56. Okay. Ay, about 4.11 sa akin. Okay, D5. Count A, D9 to D16. Okay, 1. O, dapat 4.11 lang. No? Sorry kala ko kasi 4.56 yung answer. Pakicheck nyo nga guys yung formula nyo. It should only be 4.11. Okay, thank you. Diana, thank you. Oh, hindi kasama yung year 0, Marion. Okay, don't include 0 kasi madadagdagan yung ano natin, no? Annuity ordinary kasi ito, di ba guys? So, 0, sinasama natin yung 0, pero ang bilang talaga ng periods is 0 to 1, 1 to 2, so 6 periods yan. Okay? So in fact guys, dapat pag binilang natin tong count na to, sabi ko nga, di ba, dapat ito, that this should be 6. Okay? This should not be 7. Okay? So it's 4.11 and then we copy this to the right. There. So let's check here guys, yung count A natin. Ipakita ko tong count A. So ilan yung value dito? Oh, di ba 4? Tama. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so tama yung formula natin. Dito, okay, this should be, okay, highlight ko to. Okay, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tama. So our formula is correct, no? Okay, so nakuha natin guys yung mga present value ng annuity of 1 depende dun sa life ng project. We can now get the annualized NPV. Okay, so the annualized NPV is simply the quotient of your NPV and the present value of an annuity of 1. Okay, so we have this figure. All right. So pag ganyan guys, pag magkakaiba yung life ng project, we will always use the annualized NPV, annualized net present value. Okay. Okay, thank you. Yan. Good na nakita nyo na dapat 4.11. Okay, thank you for your comments, guys. All right. So ngayon, based on the annualized NPV, ito yung project natin. Ito yung pinaka-best project. Okay, this one. And this one, 31,448, by virtue of the annualized NPV. So we don't compare based on the NPV. Okay. We do not do that kasi magkakaiba yung life nila. Okay, so in order to standardize the comparison, gagawin natin, kunin natin yung yung present value of an annuity of 1 and then i-divide natin with the NPV to get your annualized NPV. So it turns out that si B guys, si B, mas maganda siya, no? Kasi mas mataas yung annualized net present value natin. Okay, clear yun guys? Any questions about this unequal lives? Paki-chat naman kung okay ito so that I can move on to multiple IRRs. Okay, good. Good. Salamat Yung iba, paki-chat naman please kung may questions or clear tayo. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Although mukhang konti pa lang yung yung nag-chat. Okay. All right. Sige. So let's move on here. Okay, so we will only reach up to this point. Hindi natin aabutin to. Once again, guys, kung hindi niyo pa na-view yung video ng dun sa amortization natin, dynamic, please view it. Okay, kasi kasama yun sa sa case number 2 natin. Okay, so let's go here. Multiple IRRs. Pwede pala mag-multiple IRRs. Okay. Now, what's so extraordinary about our cash flow here? Do you see something weird or something different about our cash flow for this project? What's your observation, guys? Ano yung kakaiba compared to the cash flows that we have discussed before? Yeah, okay. Thank you, Marion. Yes, may negative, no? Okay, yes. May negative siya. Okay, the negative can be anywhere after the first, sa year 0 kasi, usually, talagang negative yan kasi may investment na ilalabas So either nasa gitna or towards the end or nasa end mismo. Pag ganito class, medyo extraordinary yung cash flow na to, no? And then this will lead to a situation where you have multiple IRRs. So let me show you. So ang formula natin is equal to IRR, di ba? Values natin from year 0 to year 5. So we get an IRR equal to 3.91, okay? So this is the IRR where this is the IRR where the NPV is equal to, ano guys, NPV natin is equal to 0. Okay? Now, sabi dito, there's a potential na may isa pang IRR. So let's do that is equal to IRR. Okay, then values again. Okay, dito na guys, lalabas yung guess natin. Okay, guess. So, ang binibigay muna yung pinakamababang IRR. Okay, so let's see. Ano kaya yung susunod? Let's try 5%. Guess natin na 5% siya. Enter. Hindi. It's not close to 5%. Okay, so let's change that. Gawin natin kayang 10%. Tingnan natin kung ano yung mas mataas na IRR. Eh, hindi pa rin, no? Ibig sabihin kulang pa yung estimate natin. And then, let's see. What about 15%? Gawin natin 15%. Ayun, okay. Nagtama na yung estimate, no? So 15%, pero ang sinabi sa atin, it's not 15%, it's 30.28%. Okay, so that's the IRR, guys. Take note, dalawa siya, no? Isang 3.91, isang 30.28. And that happens when we have multiple IRRs, cash flows that are extraordinary. So ito ilagay lang natin dito, no? Let's put our increment 2% here. Kasi maglalagay tayo dito ng ano. Let's now create a series of numbers from 0%, increments of 2%, pababa hanggang 50% natin ilagay, no? So that will be home, fill, series, okay, in columns, step value natin 2% hanggang 50%. Okay? Okay. So this is now hanggang 50%, no? Okay, then we're going to insert yung IRRs natin dito sa mga let's change the name, guys. Tawagan natin tong WACC. WACC. So this will now be our WACCs, no? Weighted average cost of capital. So 3.91, that's between 2% and 4%. So I'm going to, okay, drag this down. Okay, so may space na tayo dito, no? Andito yung 3.91. I-link natin dito. Okay, don't type it, guys, please. I-link natin dito. There. So I'll just format this para kita natin. Okay. So si 3.91 natin, that's our IRR. Okay, I didn't type this, guys. Make sure nakalink siya dito. No? Okay, the other one is 30.28. So where will that fall under? Dito siya. After 30%. Okay. So again, we link this is equal to this one. Okay, then i-format lang natin to. Format painter, pareho lang natin. Okay, so these are our weighted average cost of capitals. Let's compute for the WACC. Okay, so it's equal to NPV. Okay, ang rate natin will be our WACC. Okay, we will not fix this kasi gusto natin pag binaba natin, pupunta siya dito, no? Values natin, take note guys, NPV to, so dapat yung year 1, simula sa year 1, and then we will have to fix this, fix the, if i-fix natin, fix the row. Kasi ikakopy natin yung formula pababa, hindi naman nagbabago yung column, so yung row lang i-fix natin. So those are your future values, and then yung present value niya, and then fix the row. I'll give you a few minutes, a few seconds, guys, to look at the formula, work on that, and then copy natin pababa. No? We're going to copy it, drag the formula going down. Okay, Control Enter. So I'm getting a -10. You should be getting a -10 also. And then double click this. Okay, then that will give the formula here hanggang pababa. No? Okay, so what's this telling us? Ang ano sa atin dito guys, ito, no? Yung mga NPVs na, okay, yung mga NPVs na positive, di ba? Gusto natin to. Okay? The rest kasi ito, yung mga pula na yan, negative. So we don't want that, no? Kasi negative yung NPV niyan. Okay, so let's take a look at this. So this means guys, yung 3.91 guys, 0 NPV yan, so indifferent tayo dito, no? So if your WACC is 3.91, okay lang to push with the project or hindi, or okay lang na hindi, no? Kasi ang NPV natin yan, 0 lang naman eh, 0 lang. So walang net inflow. Okay, so we're saying here that if the WACC is greater than 3.91% hanggang equal to 30.28 or less than 30.28, okay yung project natin na to. Go push through with the project. But if the WACC is less than 3.91% or more than 30.28%, then reject the project kasi yung mga NPVs natin dyan are negative. Okay, so this is what happens guys when dalawa yung natin, no? Dalawa yung IRR. So let's, okay, I have around 3 more minutes. Let's plot this guys. Let's plot, highlight natin, isama natin yung title. Okay, then insert, then scatter plot natin, lagyan natin yung may ano, oops, scatter plot, and then this one. Okay, so ano lang natin, extend dito. Okay, so let's take a look at this, no? Okay, tanggalin ko lang yung mga ano, tanggalin ko lang yung mga grid lines. Okay. Palitan natin to. NPV. Okay, NPV IRR plot. Hindi pala IRR, it's WACC. Sorry. Okay. All right. So, what do we see here, guys? This, ang y-axis natin, ito yung NPV. Ang x-axis natin, ito yung weighted average cost of capital. Okay. So, di ba sabi natin, ang 3.91 at saka 30.28, since IRR yan, therefore, ang value ng NPV niyan will be 0. So, andito siya. No? Yan. Ito, NPV 3.91. So, if I click this, guys, I'll give another click. I-double click ko siya para siya lang naka-highlight. Then plus natin yung data labels niya. Okay, more options. Okay, isasama ko si X value din. Yan. Okay. All right. So, i-move ko lang siya dito. Okay. And then maybe i-format natin a shape outline. Lakihan lang natin outline para mas makita siya. Okay. Okay, yan lang, no? Okay, so ito guys, ito yung NPV natin na 3.91 and then the IRR na 3.91, the NPV is 0. No? Dito naman sa kabila, let's see, 30.28, click again, and then add data labels. Okay, more options, and then let's include the X value. Okay, para ipakita din niya yung NPV. Okay, dito. Then format natin para mas makita yung outline. Okay. So we have here the two IRRs, no? 30.28 with the corresponding 000 yung X-axis, yung NPV, Y-axis pala, X at saka Y. Okay, so let me quickly Guys, it's already time. I have 2 minutes lang para tapusin lang to. Do I have your permission, guys? Pwede ba? 2 minutes just to wrap this up. Okay, thank you. I'm assuming na yes yung answer nyo. So ito yung X natin. Ito yung Y. 3.91 IRR, 0 NPV. 30.28, 0. So yun yung linagay natin dito, di ba? And now, dito sa region na to, guys, take a look at this. Sa region na to, notice that the NPVs are all positive. Di ba? So that's between 3.91 hanggang 30.28. Okay yung ano na to. Okay, pag yung WACC natin is between, so let's say WACC is between 3.91% and 30.28. Okay, 30.28%. We have your NPVs greater than 0. So this is your acceptance region. Okay, accept natin yung ano yung project kasi yung NPV natin positive. Dito naman guys, dito okay, dito sa region na to. So this is yung WACC natin greater than 28, no? 30.28. Okay, less than 3.91. Ang ano natin, ang NPVs natin are all negatives. So dito sa portion na to at saka dito, no? These are your rejection. Reject natin yung project. We'll reject the project since, diba? Kung titingnan natin sa ano natin sa table, ito, ayan no, mga negative yung mga NPVs natin. Less than 3.91. No? Okay, dito naman, greater than 30.28. So, kunya 30.29, 30.30. Pataas guys, negative na yan. Negative yung NPV. Okay? So, wala nang chance na magkaroon ng third NPV. No? Kasi pababa na to. As you go down, ito din naman pababa na rin. The NPVs will become, actually hanggang 0 lang naman tayo. No? 0 lang yung WACC natin. Hindi naman pwede maging negative yung WACC natin. Okay, so with that guys, okay, I hope you learned something today guys. We were able to complete 3 worksheets. Itong ano natin, yung payback natin, unequal lives at saka multiple IRRs. I'm just going to record this and then post it sa ano natin for you to, para kompleto na tong ano natin, financial planning long term. Stop recording.